about your why and it being, helping others achieve their goals, well, do that. Go help
Yeah.
others achieve their goals. In real estate, a lot of the times people say, you know what, realtors don't retire. Well, why not? Why can't that be the case? Why can't we help someone retire and have a successful end years of their life or whatever, while also continuing their business?
Well, what we know is the database is a depreciable asset if you're not feeding it and growing it and constantly working it. And as you get older in the business, the first thing that you stop doing is feeding and working your database because you're tired and you don't want to deal with it. And to that point, realtors don't retire is exactly true. Well, what if they could retire? What if they had a plan that they could see 25% on every single deal, but because they're in a better system, their database is actually going to do more business than the 10 deals they're used to. Now their database does 40 deals, and all of a sudden they're making exactly what they make passively for the next 5 years while they retire. Anyone would take that deal if they're at the end of their rope versus going to still show houses. They can actually go and live their lives. And that's the conversation we're having. And the more and more that this virtual world comes into play, we see other companies heading virtual. It's now tech is the big thing. These guys don't want to do that. And Anna, it's funny you say the average age of realtors is 52. That number has come down significantly. 3 years ago, the average age of realtors was 64. So in the last 3 to 4 years, the next generation has started getting their license, and that's bringing that average way down. But all those realtors are still there. And when I started, the average was even higher. So as we continue, that number is coming down because those agents are starting to leave the business, and there is massive opportunity to work with those people. Especially those realtors that are saying, oh yeah, I sold mom a house, then I sold an aunt a house, and then I sold the kids the house. Well, now you're going to get the kids, and then you're going to get the retirement with mom and dad. And so you're getting a lot of business for a very inexpensive cost, in my opinion.
What are some of the things that you credit to your success? If you could look back and think of the big pivot points in your life, what would be a defining moment for you where there was like a light bulb going off in your brain?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple. You always hear about the failures, or at least some people want to ask. Most people don't know about it. The first big one that happened would have been, I say year two in the industry, where I had my worst year ever in the business. So I didn't follow up year one, knocked it out of the park. Year two, I didn't know what I was doing. I spent all my money, I partied, I lived life, I had a great time, and I did 4 deals and had to basically get rid of every personal asset, sleep on a buddy's couch, and spend time at my mom's on the weekend. So practically homeless when I wasn't sleeping on his couch or his floor. I was sleeping in my car. And that was the first thing that really woke me up to putting a plan together. I realized that I had nothing, and our team leader at the time sat me down and said, give me 6 months, don't argue, and I'll get you back on your feet. And the plan was simple: go make 20 to 40 contacts every day. No excuses. And so that was the first big light bulb that, if you teach agents how to fish first, they'll always be able to survive in whatever market, whatever economy we're in. Our agents will always be able to. So that was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The second big one came when I started really on the team journey and realizing that I needed to stop trying to recreate the wheel. There's models and systems. There's agents like Sandy, myself, the Knightons of this world, and a lot of the people you're going to have on this podcast that are doing incredible things. So stop trying to think we know it all, and just plug in and ask questions and learn, because leaders want to help other people. And I've seen that in both of you guys as well, where you guys are both leadership within your organization, and you now are doing exactly that same thing, where someone picks up the phone and calls and says, hey, I'm struggling, can someone help? You might not get it in that minute, but you're certainly going to get the help. And so I realized that I needed to stop thinking I was better than everyone else, essentially taking my ego out of it, and plug in and listening to others that are better than me and more successful than me. And that was probably the single most thing that changed my trajectory. Guys like Sandy, Dylan, Knighton, Ben Kinney. I mean, people say, you can't call these guys. I've been on phone calls with Ben and Chris and all these guys. And, when they drop knowledge on you, write it down and just go do it. We know that top performers implement faster than everyone else does. So don't hum and haw, don't overthink it, implement it, test it, hold the numbers accountable. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, pivot out of it quickly.